what I've got here is a basic, very simple introduction to carving in the round. I've chosen an apple because it's great to have a model, and an apple is a very easily available fruit. But I'm not really interested in it as an apple. This is very much an exercise, a drill, a sort of way of working into the round. If you've never carved in the round before, this is a good place to start. And the various things to look out for as I'm carving, one of which is to, I've already mentioned, is the model. It's actually having a sense of where you're going. And the more you can visualize what your subject is, the more easily you're going to find it. Secondly, you'll see me looking for high spots. In other words, a high spot where you're not going to take wood away. Really important, because at the end of the day, this is all wood that I haven't taken away. If I've taken it away, it'll be on the floor. So this is wood essentially that's not been removed. So that's obviously a very important point. And then really the other thing I would say to take away from this exercise is how I work the form. In other words, feeling with the gouge, with the chisel, where I want to go, feeling the form underneath. So those three things are quite important. Choose yourself some simple wood, some easy wood to work. I'm using Limewood, but Basswood, something like that is a very good wood to use. And I would do one and then do a couple, do 3, 4, do a whole fruit bowl full, because the more you practice, the easier it'll get. And once you've got into this habit of thinking in the round, you find other carvings in the round are much more easy. Here's an apple I made as a prototype to see how things worked. You can see that the surface of the apple, if I drop this ruler, this piece of wood down, the surface of the apple is actually at the surface of the wood. So a point here on the apple is actually here on this surface. And this is really important. This point here is what I call a high spot. It's where we're not going to remove wood. And finding high spots as you go along in carving is a crucial technique, is what you're really looking for. So I've got a high spot there, and I've got a high spot there, and I've got a high spot there, all the way around. And what I'm going to be doing is removing wood into this, off this corner here like this. So I'm going to mark out my block to enable me to find these high spots, and then I can start my carving. I'm going to find the center of the square block here by drawing the diagonals, and that's the center of the block there. And with my trusty old compass, I'm going to mark in the radius. So this is now the apple as a circle, as a sphere, sitting inside this block, and you can see where the apple hits the surface. That now is the high spot, and all this here is going to be taken away. So I can find, again geometrically, luckily, I can find the high spot down here. So on this face of the wood, and on that face over here, this is now the high spot of my apple. Now, if this is the width, then something like this is the height of the apple. So the high spot midway in the apple. So somewhere in here, when we make a sphere, this will be untouched. So this wood will be one of the last things we clean up at all. So mark the wood like this, mark the diagonals, circle, and mark down here for these high spots. This is quite important. We want to keep these as we go along.